Hey guys, welcome to Zelda Dungeon. I'm your host Bastion. This is a brand new video series called Zelda Discussions, where I'll ask you guys questions and then you'll go ahead and leave some comments and then I'll read your answers and discuss them and kind of talk about them. So basically, in the most recent Zelda News Update video that we had, we were talking about the fact that Mr. Eiji Aonuma said that one of the boss battles is going to change in some kind of way, and I asked you guys which boss battle do you think that is, based on things like, you know, could it be something involving the way that, you know, the gyro sensors work or something like that? And a lot of you had some very interesting bosses that you put forth as candidates for change. Some of them with very detailed explanations, some of them not so much. So let's get to those. First of all, from Justo Boy, he says, I think he's talking about Gorggyar. Gorggyar is hard, not difficult hard, but unfair hard, so people hate him for it. Gorggyar is kind of annoying, to be honest with you. One of my least favorite bosses in all of Zeldadom to defeat, but he's not that hard. It's just, he's just annoying. So, I mean, that might be a factor. Maybe as Eiji Aonuma was playing it, he was like, this is not fun. Let's change this in some kind of way. The Skinny Chef, which is a very amusing name, says, I would guess that the Gorggyar battle is going to change since there appeared to be an eye in his mouth in the new screenshots. I found the original Gorggyar battle to be extremely easy. Shoot him with the arrow, put on the Zora mask, swim up to him, use magic, jump back on the platform before he eats you, take off the mask, repeat until defeated. Maybe the eye in his mouth will add a new dimension to the battle. That is a very good point. First of all, I didn't even notice that during my first like 10 look-throughs of the trailer. Only after somebody mentioned that there's an eye in his mouth did I realize that that was the case, and seems like that might be the winner here. PJC Link says, I'd say Gorggyar, not saying he was tough, just that he was an annoying boss to fight from my experience. He wasn't that fun in the original game, plus I do think that Gorggyar really is the one that's being changed because already he looks kind of different. He has an eyeball in his mouth now. A lot of people caught on to that. I did not, so thank goodness for you guys. We have Abomination95 who says maybe Twinmold or Gorggyar, though Gorggyar I didn't have an issue. Twinmold did take me the longest to fight. Plus, with the limited magic meter, unless you've got the blue potion, using the Giant's Mask. If you run out of magic and the pillars that provide magic are gone, then yeah. So, I mean, that's a good point. The Twinmold boss battle was very frustrating because you had to conserve your magic meter, and if you ran out, you're kind of screwed. So, there could be some kind of change involving that. We have Tom Inman who says, I think it's going to be Goat. Not sure why I think this, but I just thought of it when you said it. Well, alright then. Rune King 324 who says, I think it will end up being Goat. Most people hated him and had issues with the fact that all you did was roll to get him. Even Oni Link could do nothing, if anything, against the bastard. So, I mean, Goat was a pretty simple boss battle, but I'm not so sure that it's going to be Goat, to be honest with you. Jacques Dennis says, they must be changing Odwalla because he was easy. He was also the first boss, right? So typically Zelda bosses are pretty easy. Did I say that right? I don't know. What I meant to say was, typically the first bosses in Zelda games are typically pretty easy. Bevan Rizern says, it is Odwalla because most people had no idea how to beat him, because going by Zelda mentality, the dungeon item was useless 99% of the time, except when he was dancing, so 99% sure it's going to hint you towards using your sword. I mean, and the important thing is that after this, we got a newer translation from Eiji Aonuma, from that interview with Eiji Aonuma, wherein he said more specifically that the reason why this particular boss battle is going to be changed is because as he was playing through Majora's Mask, he totally forgot how to defeat the boss, because that was a long time ago, and he's made many more Zelda games since then, many more boss battles since then, so he completely forgot how to defeat this boss and got very frustrated and said to himself, this has got to change, because if I can't figure it out, we need to do something about this. So you could be right about Odwalla using that sort of thought process. And then our final comment comes from Galadar and Noriel. I feel like that's a Silmarillion name, a Tolkien name. It looks very familiar. And if it's not, and it's your actual name, so sorry. I thought you were a Lord of the Rings or Silmarillion character. He says, or she says, I have a feeling the boss battle that will change will be Majora. He is far too easy with the Fierce Deity. I don't know that that's a consideration. I think that the Fierce Deity mask is not really intended to be something that you must have, of course. You just get that if you happen to do all these extra things, right? So at no point are they going to probably approach the game thinking, well, with the Fierce Deity mask, this boss are too easy, because what does it really matter? You've already beat the game at that point once. So as for my personal opinion, I think it is Gorggyar. I think the fact that they put an eyeball in his mouth is a good indication that that's the boss battle that's going to change, but exactly how that's going to change, I don't know. It'll be interesting to find out. I guess shooting arrows at the eyeball, because that's what you do in a Zelda game? I don't know. So next week's discussion is going to be about the topic of what do you think the changes will be that they are making to Majora's Mask besides this boss battle? What kinds of things do you think that they will fiddle around with, tighten up? We know that they're not changing any of the characters or any of the 3-day cycle or any of that stuff, but they have said that they are changing other things, so what the heck do you think those kinds of things could be? Let me know in the comments down below, and then I'll read them and discuss them in the next video. See you guys then. Bye.